Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing fantastic. And today we're going to talk about subscription boxes. But I'm going to do it in the context of answering your questions, because believe it or not, one of the most asked questions that I get on this channel are what are my thoughts on subscription boxes and the services, and which one do I like the best, which one would I recommend. So I'm going to try to tackle some of those questions for you today. But first, a little background. Now, as you know from this channel, I do get 1 or 2 subscription boxes, but before I even turned this camera on and brought you these videos on YouTube, I got a lot more, a lot of different ones. Not just these outdoorsy survival type boxes. I got a box for my youngest daughter, okay, that was a Disney box. My wife has received makeup boxes and snack boxes, you know, all kinds of stuff. So I've got a lot of experience with this sort of market, okay, around subscription boxes. So the first thing, the biggest thing to consider, okay, when I look at a box, because you know, when I open boxes, I try to make it a point to tell you, okay, the price that you know, what it costs me to get that box. Then I love seeing the breakdown of the prices of the items you get in the box, just on a very basic flat plane level. The items that I received, was it worth the money that I paid? Because ultimately, from a very simple mathematical standpoint, that's going to prove, did I get ripped off or not? Did the value that I paid, is the value there in the items that I received? You know, regardless of if I think the items are garbage or they're of no use to me whatsoever, just is the value there? So that's the first thing I like to look at in a box service, because obviously these subscription companies, they got tons of different customers from tons of different backgrounds. They're not going to hit the mark with an amazing box every single month. It's just not going to happen. Okay, all right, so with that out of the way, second thing is, what's the best box, or what box do I like the best, or which one do I think is the best value, right? Okay, so let's just tackle that all in one. The thing is, when you watch these videos of me opening these boxes, in the comments, I get people that tell me, you know, they'll watch the video and I'll tell them, hey, this is how much I paid for it. Here's what I got. What do you think? People will say, oh man, hey, that box was a hit. Or they'll laugh and they'll say, man, dude, you totally got ripped off. You got to take it to the cleaners. Well, that's the nature of these boxes. So I guess at the end of the day, if you were to ask me, what box do I like? Well, the problem is, the box that I like might not be the box that you like, which to me is the beauty of this platform that you're watching. Because you can go and literally find any box, type it in YouTube, somebody has uploaded a video on it, and you can see what that box is all about and what that service is. So with that, that's a good thing to kind of help you out. Now, some of the questions that I've received that have kind of, I can't wrap my head around, I actually had a comment of, which box, you know, I want to build a kit. Which box would you recommend? Okay. I'm kind of going to say I'm confused by that, because when you pay for these boxes, you don't know what you're getting. You're getting a box of random items. I think, you know, with most of these services, at least the ones that I subscribe to, the only control you have over what you are receiving in that box is maybe the size t-shirt they're going to send you. If, you know, if they do send such a thing, you know, you can say, hey, I have this size preference, you know, and when they include something, they'll just give you that size. So outside of that, it's a random box of stuff, and you don't really know what it's going to be. So my advice, if you're wanting specific items, this whole ecosphere of a subscription-based service it's not going to suit what you need. Just take the money and go buy the stuff that you need. Where I find value, if you want to call it that, in subscription services is the fact that I do, and I say this a lot in the videos, is that I get exposure to brands that, or products even, that I would never have on my own got exposure to. The reason is because I'm a very narrow focused kind of person. You know, like for knives, for example, I get roasted sometimes in the comment section because, you know, I'll see a knife, you know, or I'll receive a knife in a box and I have no experience with it or brand. And people say, how's that even possible that you don't know about this brand of knife? Well, because in the realm of knives, and I've been a knife guy for a long time, I have a specific need in a knife, okay? I don't care what the brand is. I don't care anything about that. I don't care about having the top of the line, you know, knife. It doesn't matter to me. Just give me a knife that meets the parameters that I need, that I like, and it gets the job done. The price is almost, you know, not even a factor, because a lot of times, to me, you know, I, you know, kind of have a preference for the mid-range price knives. You know, I don't see the need in going out to spend $300 on a pocket knife when I can buy a knife in the $80 range that is perfectly fine. It'll do what I need it to do, and it'll last a really long time. You know, so that's just my preference. But through these subscription boxes, I do get exposure to those brands, okay? And I get exposure to all these crazy products that I normally would have never come across. Now, as far as people asking me which box do I like the best, well, that again is another question that's hard to answer, because some boxes, some months I love them. The next month I can absolutely hate it because it'll have stuff that I have no use for in it, or it'll have stuff in it that I've already received, and it may be from a completely different box company, and that happens a lot. I'll get products from, let's see, what was it? It was Crate Club and Battle Box. And I had one of you guys in the comment section tell me that I believe, and I don't know if this is true or not, that those two companies are almost one and the same, or at least they do source a lot of the products from the same suppliers. I know that because when I see my Crate Club and I see my Battle Box, there's a lot of crossover in products. It's just, it is what you know, I got videos that you can see. Some of the items I get are duplicated across both those services. So there are times when I can be in love with a box, and there are times that I can hate it. So that thing is, it's subjective over the course of however long you're going to subscribe to that service, which again enters into a whole nother arena. How long do you subscribe to any of these services? Are you going to try them out for just maybe, you know, 2 or 3 months, maybe get 1 to 3 boxes and then call it quits? Or are you going to be crazy like I am and subscribe to multiple boxes for quite some time? You know, I mean, because that's really what happens here in this house. But that's another factor. And then I guess it comes down to, at the end of the day, all of the questions about what I like, what I think, it's not going to apply to you, because there's going to be things that I'm going to like that you're not going to like. There's going to be boxes that I might be excited about. You're going to say, yeah, I'd be mad if I got all that stuff. And that's okay, because that also could be flipped. You could be looking at a box that I say, hey man, this box is a dud, complete dud. And then you're watching the video looking at me like, man, are you crazy? I'd love to have some of that stuff, right? That's just how it goes. But I will say this. I did receive one box a long time ago that I really liked. This came from it. And don't go looking for the company, okay? Because this company does not exist anymore. It's gone. This company shut down, man, quite some time ago. But these guys, okay, what they did when you got your intro box, okay, they would give you this binder, this little binder. And I'm going to show you what's in this binder, because stuff like this, to me, is what sets companies apart. Because I've had boxes, let's see, the what is it, the Dude box, all right? It used to be called the D-bag. I don't even know if that I don't even know if that service is even still available, but that was a subscription service that you subscribe to. You got a box of crap. You got a box of crap every month. I'm sorry if there's anybody out there that likes it, but I subscribed to them. I gave them several months, and it was a bunch of cheap, just the cheapest stuff you could get. Just not worth it. Absolutely not worth it, hands down, which is why I don't have it anymore. Because and there's other companies out there that, let's see, what's that company? And I really hate it because it's steel to reel. Steel to reel, I believe when I first got a steel to reel box, it had, I could have swore, and I could be wrong, okay, but I could have swore that it had documentation and stuff in it. And now when I get the steel to reel boxes, it's just a box with items in it. That's it. It's just like someone went to, a shelf and had a box and said, item, 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 item. Tape it up, ship it. That's it. Nothing in it. Nothing in it for me as the customer other than those products. That's why it irks me to death when I get a subscription box and I open the box and it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have a piece of paper, a written out thing, anything, a card, anything. Because to me, that doesn't take that much effort. And the company I will say that does that with the current boxes that I get, that does that the best, is BattleBox. Not gonna lie. Okay, BattleBox, they have the really nice, fold out little pamphlets that have the beautiful pictures on it. And they have a little thing, from, I guess, the guy that owns the joint. He writes a little, like paragraph or two in there about that month's box. To me, that's just giving you something else, okay? And you can say I'm crazy, that's blah, blah, blah. That's fine. This company right here, okay, that's no longer in business, so don't go looking. But this company right here, where they would send you this binder, and every month, and I don't want to go rummaging through this because these things are really tight because there's so many of them, and I don't want to mess any of them up because these things are so cool. It's such a good idea. They would give you, and I hope that focuses. I'm going to try to peek around there and see if I can see. But you can see up here it says Survival Knowledge Card number 1. Okay, this was, they gave them for what number box they were on. But you could go back and you could get, like if you came in when they were on box like 30 or something, you had the option to go back and get all the other cards. So you could build, and I have a complete set of all the ones that they gave out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some at the end here. Like this was the last card that I received. This was the Survival Knowledge Card number 51. And all these cards had, the boxes were themed, kind of like BattleBox. And these were kind of the same, and they would give you these cards. Okay, these cards, like this theme was get outside to the power of the outdoors. And in this card it says, getting outdoors, talking about the positive effects of just being out in nature, on your mental state, your stress, your anxiety. Just go be with nature, And it's got stuff on here: fishing, hunting, camping, RVing. It tells you how to set up a campsite, and then on the back, because these things are front and back, and they're also laminated too. It says tactics for a survival mindset and a positive attitude, and it gives you all of the normal things. If you're a survivalist, you already know. But it says physical health and fitness, and then it gives you a lot of the big bullet points for that particular section, right, or that particular topic. Training and adventuring, willpower, right? Compartmentalization. Let's see, gratitude, self-compassion. Let's see, passion and purpose, faith, meditation, box breathing, 40%. And the 40% one, I think I read this one before when I got this card, but the 40% is something really good. So for all of you out there that wonder what it takes to survive. And I know this is going off topic, but I just want to read this for whoever needs to hear it. It says, when your mind is telling you you're done, you're only really 40% done. When you've hit the wall, you're really only 40% through your stores of energy and determination. Okay? Which, is very, very awesome. Very awesome mindset to have, that when you think you're done, you're not done. You're only 40% done. But all these cards have something different. And you think there's 51 of these. So, they give you one that, of course, because of what we just went through, surviving an epidemic or a pandemic, right? So they've got all kinds of cool stuff on here. And see, and then they got basic knowledge. Like here's one right here that has 40 knots. And it gives you representation of knots. And then on the back, like you think, okay, this will be a card, obviously about knots, right? No. Up here they give you, here are the top 5 survival knots that you should master. They give you those. And then it says top 25 foods to include in your emergency stockpile. This is a fountain, a wealth of knowledge. And, they do all fit in this binder that they provide, but it's a very, very tight fit. And like I said, I don't want to tore up, because to me, this was such a really, really cool idea. And this was something that I really look forward to and I really appreciated getting. And even now that this company has long since been dissolved, I still always have this, and I will always have these cards. And yeah, I really like that. To me, this was a really good service. And the boxes that they provided, I mean, maybe they were too good, and maybe that's why they're no longer around. Maybe they couldn't, the way they were doing things, they couldn't sustain it, from a profit standpoint. But they had a really cool model, right, of how they did their boxes. They had a gear-only box. Then they had a food-only box that you could get, which would just have emergency water packets. It would have freeze-dried foods. They didn't ever include any military MRE stuff. It was only like freeze-dried camping foods, like Mountain House, or any of that kind of stuff. Backpackers Pantry, that kind of stuff, and water and emergency bars, stuff like that. And to me, this was the genius, because this was the box that I subscribed to. They had a box you could get that was maybe 10 or 15 bucks more a month, but it was a combination of both. So you got food and some gear. And to me, and the card and all that stuff. So to me, that was a really good service. Now, maybe, again, it was a completely unsustainable business model. But, I rode it till the end, and I loved it. And, I was sad to see it go. But out of the boxes I get now, it's hard to say, because, the battle boxes are good. Not all the time. But these boxes are not going to be good all the time. There's going to be months that are you're going to be disappointed, but that's just the nature of the service. My main judgment and criticism is the value for the money I paid. Whether or not I like the product or not, the value better be there. Because that, to me, is the determination of if I got ripped off or not. Not that I loved it or hated it. That, to me, from a value standpoint, is irrelevant. Now, to me personally, yes, every box, I want this company to read my mind at the moment they ship it and give me exactly what I want at that time. That's fantasy land. It's not going to happen. So, to wrap this all up, I don't know how to answer these questions of, which box is the best, because it comes down to, if you watch these videos, not just from me, which, hey man, I hope you're watching my videos. I greatly appreciate it, if you do. But there's tons of YouTubers making videos like this, and especially boxes that I don't even get. Because there's a lot of them out there, and the biggest question you have to ask yourself when you watch the videos: do you think it's worth it? I tell you what the box, how much it costs, and you see the products. All right, so the biggest question here is when you watch the video and you watch me open that box, which I got some videos coming up right now, right after this one. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think I would pay for that? I would pay for that. I would have paid for that box. Well, if the answer is yes, you have your answer. It would be worth it. Now, the problem with me is I have no way of knowing if the box is going to be good or not. That's kind of that's the thrill. That's the surprise of opening one of these boxes. You know, is it going to be good? Am I going to be crying at the end? Am I going to want to kick the camera over and just quit, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I really want to hear your feedback if you have any to give, because I really, there's no way for me to really answer. And the whole thing of which box, you know, I like the most, you know, I like the Hunt Vaults and the Battle Box. You know, I really do like the Hunt Vaults. You know, and at the end of the day, it's going to be for you. What are you looking for? What do you want? Watch videos, find a box that closely matches that, and then the price. If you think that the box price is within your discretionary fund, then get it. And if you're not happy, well, you know what you're going to do? You're going to cancel it, and you're going to move on to something else. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you have a good day, good evening, however this video finds you. Some stuff will probably be up already as I've been rambling. And if you made it this far, whew, gold medal to you. I really greatly appreciate you. So, yeah, hit that comment section. Hey, just to say, hey, man, what's up? You know, or peace out or whatever. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.